This is the moment of truth. I won't even hold y'all. I throughout the time that I've had this channel, I won't even lie. We've been making gains, right? Over a certain period of time. Before we started out, I started this back in what was it? Back in shoot. Wow, where is it? When? Like July. Right, and all I was doing was just gameplays, right? And I didn't even have my voice in it, but I was just doing gameplays. And then after a certain point, I incorporated more and more. I got a mic, I got some extra stuff, and then I ended up incorporating my voice, so now you could hear, you got the voice behind the gameplay, all right? All the good, the bad, the cheer, the rage, all that. All that. That's what that's what we added, into the mix, into the sauce, right? And now at this point, we're incorporating some visuals along with branching out to a little bit of podcasting, just a little bit of talking. I won't even hold y'all. I like playing games, but I also like talking as well. And man, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm looking at the camera, about a minute or so in. Maybe I've been stalling too much, but I think it's about time that you guys see the face behind the voice and the face behind the gameplay. So without further ado, I won't hold y'all. Y'all gonna have to pardon me, because maybe I'm trying to straighten up the camera and all that. But hey, it is what it is. I ain't afraid to look a little foolish my first time around. Ooh, hold on. Let me loosen this up a bit. I'm playing around, toying around with it. Ooh, hopefully this looks like it'll be about good. But, ooh, bam. Now it's official. All right, now you guys see what it is. So without further ado, allow me to introduce myself. What's up, everybody? How's it going? You already know the ways. It is Zachariah White, a.k.a. Big Daddy Trip. Back at it like it's nothing with this drip and the sauce, because I am the boss. And this is a little something I've been starting called the Royal High Table. All right, I don't know if like y'all kept that in mind. I've definitely been talking about it, leading up to this point, and I won't hold y'all. It's hitting me in my heart right now. It's attacking my breath, my breath is getting a little shorter, but it's cool. This is, I ain't gonna hold you. This feels like a big time moment. And the funny thing is, perhaps I should have done this earlier, because right now it's about 11:06, but I ain't gonna hold you. I don't mean to sound like a criminal or whatnot, but I like putting in work, in the after hours, when the sun's down and all that. Now, granted, I could do my dirt, not dirt, wow. No, because hey, listen, we ain't doing no dirt. I could put in some work when the sun's out. I love that, but also, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. With the nighttime and all that. Speaking of light, I ain't gonna hold y'all. We got a bunch of light. We got this light right here. We got the ring light. We got lamp light right here. Got TV light right here. Hey, we got light all over the place. No cap. But. Man, listen, here we are, and I guess I'll just explain what the purpose of the whole, the Royal High Table was. I guess the purpose of the Royal High Table was really, I guess, the same purpose with regard to, me starting up this channel and me playing video games and all that. It was really more so to turn in stuff that, the stuff that I like to do, and stuff that perhaps I would do even without the cameras, even if I wasn't recording or whatnot, really to, I guess, take that and make that into something bigger, turn hobbies into something that could be impactful, or some way that, I won't hold you, some way that I can gain from it, as well as some way that somebody outside of myself could gain from it as well. So, and with this Royal High Table, I won't hold you. We coming to the table, we talking. You know, as in some episodes, you know, we might be eating, it might be a mukbang, whatever. But this is definitely something that I'm looking to. I'm actually starting right now. I'm looking to have, you know, moving forward. So with that being said, I guess you know, rule number one when it comes to the Royal High Table, I won't hold you. I guess this is the number one rule within the White Empire, is that everybody's a king and a queen in something or another, right? And everybody, you know, everybody, society nowadays talks a good bit about, you know, this person, king, queen, all that, and I don't knock them for that. I think, you know, shoot, hell, everybody, you know, everybody's a king or queen or something. We got a whole bunch of, a lot of royalty walking around, you know, regardless of if anybody wants to admit it or not, right? But you know, I just like to keep my stuff on Front Street, right? You know, make it known, And with that being said, you know, we you know, we make it apparent. You know, it's kings and queens eating over here, and the funny thing is, everybody can eat up over here and whatnot. Just you know. Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe there might be some exceptions or whatnot, but hey, yo, if you good, you know, you cool and all that other sort of jazz, then shoot, hell, the White Empire is right here and the Royal High Table is right here, so any and everybody's free to join. But you know, I've been talking a good bit. I guess I'll get into what, you know, I had actually planned, because what I had planned, obviously, let me get into that. I actually, like, you know, my plan was just to go through, you know, find some stuff, some interesting stuff that happened, you know, as of recently, and maybe even, you know, what I'll do moving forward is also just like some interesting stuff just in general. You know, it's not necessarily time sensitive, but, you know, but I basically gather up some topics, also make sure that I get some information, because I don't exactly want to, you know, I don't exactly want to. I'm not about pushing out certain notions and all that, unless they're good. I'm not about really trying to stir things up, or trying to push negativity or push anything that's gonna cause detriment to, you know, any one group or another, whatnot. So yeah, no, we definitely got to have our facts there. And I won't even hold y'all. I'm gonna let y'all know just like this. Even with, like, you know, topics that I plan on talking about today, and topics that I plan on talking about moving forward. Like, I'll give you the facts. I'll also try to throw in my 2 cents as well. You know, throw in different ways of interpretations. But ultimately, y'all again, like, this is hey, yo, if somebody was writing this down, taking notes or whatever it is, this needs to be like bold, and this needs to be, you know, underlined and all that other sort of jazz right there. Shoot, just like that, I lost my train of thought, but I'm back though. But ultimately, it is up to each and every single one of you being like the viewers, the audience, you know, anybody who comes across this video, you know, who heeds the words that's coming out of my mouth and all that other sort of jazz. It's ultimately up to you, as to you know, what your thoughts, what your, you know, ideas, notions, concepts, you know, what you know, your actions and whatnot. You know, you do have some sort of agency, you know, in the equation. So you guys just make sure that you keep that in mind. But I won't hold y'all. My plan, I was trying to get 10 different topics. I don't quite know how long I'll be talking. My goal was to have 10 topics. My goal was to talk, you know, was to get about and, you know, do my little talking thing for at least about an hour or so. It's really something. I won't hold y'all. I can be a chatterbox. or whatnot. Just naturally, that's just how I am. But I guess without further ado, I'll get right into my first topic. Well, hold on. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. Let me see something. Let me make sure it's recording. Okay, it is recording. All right, cool. Cause I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'd have been mad as ever if I've been sitting up here doing all this talking, right? And then bang, the camera ain't caught none of it. I'd have been mad as ever. But anyway, so I guess the first thing that I guess no podcast or whatever that's gone about and done any sort of talking, throughout this week, you can't ignore the Super Bowl. Now you just can't ignore it, baby. I got my little football right here. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I got my little football. Now granted, it's NCAA, it's not NFL, but we got a little football. And I also won't even hold y'all. I keep it all the way 100. I didn't see the game. I don't have cable. I'm staying in a dorm at FSU. Shout out to Florida State. Shout out to the Noles. But yeah, no. I wasn't able to catch it. I caught some of the highlights though. And I guess what I'll say is many congratulations to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the winners, as well as the Kansas City Chiefs, because hell, it's tough. Repeat, forget, winning back-to-back championships in anything, whether it be basketball, football, tennis, whatever, right? It's always tough. It's tough also just getting to that point as well. But one thing is, damn, Tampa Bay is now officially has cemented themselves in history now, which is freaking awesome because I'm a Florida native. Shout out to Florida. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Maybe people within Florida, they may not rock with it. People outside of Florida may not rock with it, whatever. But I rock with my state, and I like it. I like all the other states, and I'm not even gonna be the one to be like. I'm not even one to be like, oh, okay, well, Florida is better than every other. I'm not that type. Right? I'm objective, right? I think every state, city, country, whatever. Everybody is special and unique. In their own ways or whatnot. And in their own ways, they're better than, the next state, city, country, region, all that other sort of jazz. So I can't even say that. But back to what I was talking about. Damn. Tampa has cemented themselves in the NFL history book. Matter of fact, just history. Damn. Who ever thought about that? The first, dang. No one's ever heard of a team, right? Hosting a Super Bowl. The Super Bowl was gonna be in Tampa regardless of who made it there, right? And then not only did they make it to the Super Bowl, so they hosted it, right? They freaking won. And not only did they win, they won decisively. They won decisively. I saw highlights. I didn't see everything. I saw some highlights. I ain't see everything. But I saw some highlights. And I took note of the stats. I know the final score 31-9. I'm gonna get to that later. But damn, that's just really freaking something. And I won't hold you. It's just Tom Brady. Just 1 year. Just 1 year. He leaves New England, comes over to Tampa, bang Super Bowl champs. Again, a lot of congratulations to them. And again, the Kansas City Chiefs, regardless of how they lost or whatnot, regardless of what anybody first take, what's it called? Shannon and is skipping Shannon Undisputed or whatever, sports, Twitter, whatever anybody says, again, they shouldn't hold their head in shame or whatnot, because again, they're teams that have never made it to the Super Bowl. They're teams that have never won it. and they were like they had a good chance to repeat. So that's definitely something. And I don't know. I can't say. Going by the stats and going by the highlights that I saw, I can't say that everybody played their hearts out. But Patrick Mahomes did. I and I'm not saying that. Well, what I'll say is this: I'm not saying that Kansas City as a whole did or didn't play their hearts out. What I'll say is Patrick Mahomes. He that this one ain't on him. That's all I'm gonna say. This one ain't on him. And I guess I'll get more further into that. But like some of the stats that I just made note of, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I got my Google Docs out. Shout out to Google Docs. Forget that. I'm not even one to be doing. Hell, I'm not of the stature to be doing shout outs. But hell, I'm gonna do it anyway. Shoot. But yeah, no, obviously the score being 31-9. I made note of the total yards, passing yards, rushing yards, turnovers, efficiency stats, individual stats. Not like I didn't get down the whole like box score or score box or however it is that they say it. But yeah, no, I didn't get down everything, but I did get down some stuff. And I won't hold you. This is like, dang it, because seeing it is like it was very like historical. It's definitely something I want to explore. Also, because like, damn, like I won't like I saw like some of the comments and some of the videos. I'm not heavy on Twitter, but like saw some stuff about what people were saying on Twitter. Saw some talk of again First Take or and what's it called, Undisputed. And I won't hold you. This was definitely something that I had to look into, really, because, and I'll say it's also like a side effect of like, I won't even hold you, like all the, like what I've noticed just about social media, society, and especially like sports media and all that, regarding to how they cover, like, I guess the narrative that they push, like particularly when LeBron was going all those finals, out in the NBA, so I definitely had to check and see what's about that, because this, I won't hold you, Tom Brady got his 7th ring, and that is freaking awesome. That cemented his, he's the GOAT. I don't know. Like people still might argue Joe Montana. People still might argue Jerry Rice. I think the consideration, at least what I remember hearing, he again awesome player, greatest football player or whatever. But Tom Brady he's definitely number one, the greatest winner in the modern era, right? And I guess. Especially within the 2000s, because nobody has won. Well, I'm not gonna say nobody, because I don't know all of who's of all the teams that's wilding out in baseball and any other sports, but he very well has a case to be like the greatest modern day winner. And shoot, he might even go down in history. Well, I'll just focus on. I'm not gonna talk about general stuff that I don't know about. Just modern day winner within football, the NFL. Like, yes, that's him. And overall, perhaps so. He might got that. He might have that under his belt as well. Like just overall throughout the entire history of the NFL. Because damn, nobody damn. Wow, nobody's got 7 freaking rings. Nobody's got 7 rings. Hell, Gronk ain't got 7 rings. And that's he came to New England. He was on the New England team or whatnot. At a certain point, but hell, he ain't got 7 rings or whatnot. So it's Tom Brady. Tom Brady's definitely done his thing. But I definitely had to look into it because I saw a whole lot of switch up on Mahomes. That's one thing. He's that boy is definitely not that boy. That guy, that man, he's had a lot of like early success. So I guess like some stats that I made note of, right? Because from what I saw, there was like a lot of blame put on Mahomes. So I had to look into some of the stats, like the total yards, and this was the funny thing also, and it isn't really surprising to me, is that like in terms of total yards, Kansas got that. Like Kansas City, they took that. 350 to Tampa's 340. Passing yards, Kansas has 243 to Tampa's 195. All right. Rushing yards, Kansas has that 145 to Tampa's 107. All right. Turnovers now. Unfortunately, Kansas has that too, 2-0 to Tampa 0. All right. And efficiency stats. What Tampa convert? Wow. And this is something. I guess this is definitely something that factors into that overall equation of how the game went. Tampa, full like 4 out of 12 third down conversions to Kansas's 3 out of 13. So Tampa converted one more and had one less third down conversion to get to. And I mean, but Kansas did convert like a fourth down, like a play on fourth down. Again, I actually don't recall that one. And Tampa hasn't. I'm just gonna make sure Kansas. Just to make sure, because I don't even recall what I just said. I don't want to like mix up the teams. So Kansas converted once, and Tampa has none. But either way, still cool. Because I guess what really, I guess the tail of the tape, even going from the highlights to going to the stats, it seems like obviously Tampa Bay was more efficient, if anything, than the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm also like looking at some of the individual stats. I got Pat Mahomes, 26 of 49 completions, which means that they obviously wasn't running the ball that much. What else? Okay, obviously Mahomes 26 of 49 to Tom Brady's 21 of 29. So again, Tom. But I think also this also like lines up with, I believe, like what was being pushed out again by like the sports media when Tom went up against the MVP Aaron Rodgers. Tom, that boy efficient. I think it was just they may not have like gotten as much yards or anything like that, but best believe they like with what it is that they got the most out of it. That's for sure. But I don't think, and I'm just looking at like receptions. Damn, like, because I go to the Bucks. Gronk had 6 receptions, 67 yards, 2 TDs. All right, Mike Evans, I thought he was going to be a big factor. Like 1 reception, 31 yards. All right, I remember, I don't have this like, I have like my Google Docs up. I don't quite have like the box score. I do remember, I think seeing something like Antonio Brown had like 5 receptions. Ooh, my apologies. I got a burp. Excuse me. 5 receptions, like 20 something. Not 20 something. I don't know how many yards, but he definitely had 5 receptions. But and then I look over to the Chiefs and I see Travis Kelce, 10 receptions, 173 yards. That's not bad. Tyreek Hill, 7 receptions, 73 yards. Which I guess if we were looking like if we just disregarded like who got like whose stats they were, those aren't bad stats, but for Tyreek Hill, seeing it as how he lit them up the first time round, that's sort of kind of, I'm not now. Again, y'all, I'm not saying that this loss was on Tyreek Hill. I'm not putting the loss on nobody, because again, I haven't seen the whole game from start to finish. I just saw highlights, and even then, like, well, I saw highlights, and then I know for a fact I saw like Patrick Mahomes highlights as well. So, but yeah, I don't want to like cast any aspersions as to who takes the blame or whatnot. But I'll just say and I won't focus too much on on I guess getting too caught off and defending one or the other or pushing one more than the other or whatnot. But this was definitely, again, as I mentioned before, and I'll probably sound like a broken record or whatnot, this was definitely a game of of efficiency, and the Bucks definitely got that. And one thing that I will also say about the stats that I remember seeing was that, again, Kansas City, they got the edge on rushing yards, but it's just something now because just looking at the stats, I just really see, like, even though I hear all the time and I know and I can see that the NFL is a passing league, right? It's been that way for a long time, and there's also been a time where it's been a rushing league and all that other sort of jazz, but it's really been a passing league. You see it in, obviously you see it in the stats, you see it in the gameplay. Like, I even like make note of it as like I'm watching like other YouTubers, like just play Madden, throughout the years, and there's a heavy focus on passing. And best believe that you can if you can run the rock well, that's awesome, right? But more than anything else, if you are going to win consistently, especially if you play online, you gotta pass, right? Like, and even you even I consider like just playing about, somebody gets one group of friends to play football against another group of friends. Guess what they're doing? They're not running the ball. Like, now, if you got me out there, hey, listen, I'm going to be in somebody here like, hey, yo, you sort of should, like, yo, we got to be, you can't be one dimensional now. Let's run the rock. I will run the rock. All right, I'll run the ball, but if need be, but let's try and mix it up a little bit. But it is so freaking pass heavy, man. I won't hold you. The chicks ain't the only thing that dig the long ball, I guess. But wow, what else? But yeah, no, just looking at the stats, like, because obviously the passing yards are higher than the rushing yards for both teams. But I'll say the rushing yards are like, they were like fairly low. Both of them barely got over 100 yards. And not only that, but I think what really stuck out to me was, as I checked out the breakdown individually, who was running the ball. And none of the runners got over 100. Some of them barely got 50. Some of them, didn't get 50 or whatnot. So it's just really something, man. It really is pass heavy. But again, this as to be expected of a Super Bowl. As to be, I guess, as was the case when the last time Tom Brady was in the Super Bowl. Right there, it was a game of efficiency. So, but shoot, hell, I beat that horse dead. Bang, bang, bang. I'll get on to the next topic though. Oh, you already talked about like the GOAT status. Yeah, I won't hold you. Tom Brady, Tom has locked it. And I guess the one thing that I'll say, and perhaps like a lot of stuff that shoot out, with the topics or all that, I may speak to the choir a lot of times, but one thing that I remember is prior to Tom's first run, not first run, like his run during like from 2010 moving forward, like, or at least even within that time span, like, with regard to who was the greatest ever, the GOAT within the NFL, the conversation always fell down to like Joe Montana, Jerry Rice. Granted, I don't freaking, I saw some of their highlights on the NFL Network. Awesome, it's awesome. But it's sort of kind of like, all right, it's kind of like, hearing it from the NBA. Like, the NBA's version of the discussion was like, Michael Jordan, I see the highlights, but you know, I won't hold you. You know, Steph Curry looks pretty nice. You know, LeBron looks pretty nice. KD looks pretty nice. James Harden looks pretty nice. You know, so I don't know. But yeah, it's and then I'm trying to think what is the breakdown, because and I don't think this was like 2010-ish, but you know, then Tom ended up losing to Eli.